Hey, it's just Trish, and have you missed me? Alright, so I have been busy at VBS this week. I don't know, we're not all back together yet. It was crazy awesome. So I figured I'd tell you the 6 things I learned at VBS this year. 6 things. Number 1. This was shocking to me. Your well-behaved kid that you do everything you can do to teach them how to have manners, how to be polite, how to be considerate, and just how to be a good being child, that child is hardly ever going to get noticed. Yes, I was actually a leader. No, I was a helper to a leader for 1st grade. I really was thrilled to take that on. Usually I end up being a leader, so it was nice being a helper. And we had 38 1st graders. By the 3rd day, I realized there was this portion of children I didn't even know their names. And it was because they were all well behaved. I didn't have a reason to constantly be after them. So I had to make it a point intentional to know their names, because it was so easy to disregard them because they were not high maintenance. And man, it really hit home. I was like, what? You know, this is, again, a reason I homeschool. You know, this is not different from the public school. I remember being a kid, and I was that kid. Yeah, believe it or not, I was that kid. And, you know, the open house night, the teacher was like, I hardly even know she's here. My mom was like, that's not good, kind of deal. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised to realize that if your child is well behaved, they will hardly be noticed. You ready? This is one of my favorites. If, being a homeschool mom, you know, if you are starved for some like adult fellowship, wanting to be with other moms, even if you look like this, it is how I woke up. Go find the biggest VBS in town or in the next town. So I didn't do VBS this year with my church. I actually did VBS with a neighboring town, and it was their largest. I'm talking largest. They had 330 kids registered and 60-ish adults working. 60. 4 hours a day. I met all kinds of new people. It was awesome. I'm not going to lie. It was great. I met new people. I made some new friends. This mama needed to make some new in-flesh friends. And so I did. And it was neat. I met some homeschoolers that I've never met before. And it was nice. And it was nice. And I will tell you, like, if you go to church, you're like, well, I'm in church, but I just kind of, I don't know. Go volunteer. They're always looking for new blood. Go volunteer. Volunteering will be, they'll love you for it. They'll be thankful for you. You know, don't take leadership. They want helpers so bad it's not funny. But you will meet new people, and you get to be, you're constantly doing other things, so you can kind of feel them out to see if you even want to get to know them. But great way as a stay-at-home mom to meet new friends. All right, number 3. Your kids, no matter how well prepared they are, will learn the unexpected things from those kids. All right, yeah, it's church. You're like, yeah, I'm sending my kids to a church program. We're good. But there's always those kids. And they're there. They're there. So the VBS we did had 5th and 6th grade. My daughter said she was just... She was actually kind of surprised. So she's 5th and 6th. And the amount of... You know, the whole time, maybe I'm old school on this, but I'm just like, why did they have their electronics? I would have had a basket, put your electronics in here. you know, versus this. I don't know. I don't feel like kids have a right. And if you're a parent who thinks your kid needs to have their cell phone the whole time, maybe you shouldn't send them. That's just me. So I was a little bit off by that. I was like, man. And then I was like, well, how much? She was just like, I didn't want to listen. But if you have a child who wants to listen, be prepared for that. All right. Number 4. I will say, so we did a VBS that was from 8 till noon, which meant we needed to be there at like 7:45. Yeah, 6 kids. I don't think there has ever been a time in my life with 6 kids. Well, that'd only be the last year. It is, I worked when I only had 4. I did work for a small amount of time. So you get a great taste of being a working mom. So having a taste of a working mom. If you're a working mom who's not staying at home, who wants to stay at home and that's why you watch me, or you just think I'm funny and it's great to watch, hats off, man. Hats off. You can't do it all. You cannot do it all. So don't beat yourself up on it at all. You can't do it all. I mean, my house is a wreck. And to be honest, I'm exhausted. I plan to clean today, the day after, and I think it might have to be next week. I'm whooped. And so just that day in, day out, there's no way. There's no way I could do it. All right, number 5. Okay. So, you ever have those days you want to send your kids to school? Yeah. You have them days you want to send your kids to school? A morning VBS is perfect. Beautiful. To get a taste of what it might be like. Now, granted, it's not a full taste. It's just like 3 or 4 hours. But even still, it's a taste. Because I don't really know how them kids survive. One, getting them up in the morning, getting them out. They're not like fully awake. You're trying to feed them, shove things in their face as you go. They're exhausted. I mean, they're just absolutely exhausted. I had this like hope, you know, because we're doing some summer school work, that we'd be able to work on a couple of pages in the afternoon. My kids were worthless. Absolutely worthless. And we're only gone there for 4 hours. I have a cat. We were only there for 4 hours. And here's the thing. I don't know how these children are keeping it together with going to school, the homework, the just overstimulation at the school, doing extracurricular activities. My kids aren't functioning. I mean, maybe they adjust to it, but I'm wondering if we got some overly exhausted kids in our nation, is what I kind of came home to. I'm like, I don't know. And if we did them from like Friday was 8 to noon, and then we came back together at 6 p.m. to do a family night for about an hour and a half. Those kids were done. Done. I mean, those kids were non-functioning, falling apart, either acting out aggressively or just crying. They were done. And I was just kind of like, poor guys. It was bad. All right. But in the end, number 6, what I learned. This was the best thing I really had. The biggest take-home learning lesson from VBS this year was, you ready? Maybe my homeschool job that I do every day thanklessly, with the laundry, the dishes, the kids, no breaks, is not as hard as I thought it was. Yeah. VBS was very good for this mama. I had to admit to some things. Yeah. I think, whether I admit it or not, I'm not admitting this, this is hypothetically, I might have been making my homeschool mom job a bit of a martyr type attitude. Because dealing with 38 first graders, my kids are some well-behaved kids. Maybe it's because they're mine and, you know, they're who I'm used to dealing with. But they're great and they're not mentally draining. You know, most times you couldn't even teach because you're trying to get them just to be quiet. My kids are not that loud. You know, it's definitely... Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. What I really learned was I need to appreciate what I do each day because I got it good. Now, yeah, it is a little bit trying, but man, there's people that are doing a whole lot more. So there you go. My 6 things I learned at VBS Submerge. Yeah, I did that one. A little side note on that one. So, I am a volunteer at this big church from my little church far away. But they all know each other kind of deal. And it's family night. Family night. And so that means then we were prepped. Leaders, be prepared. You're going to be on stage with the kids for family night doing the motions. So, in the midst of everybody lining up, I'm on stage, and you know where I find myself? In front. I'm off to the side, because, you know, I'm not the main attraction. I'm in front. In fact, I'm the only leader in front without children in front of me. Behind me, behind the piano, is like 8 leaders hiding. Here I am in front. All the adults, all the parents out there. Trish is in front. Thinking to myself, yep, bring the newbie volunteer that doesn't go to this church and stick her out front. So we get done doing it, and I'm like, man, I gotta keep up with the motions, and I'm doing the motions, and I'm just like, fake it till you make it, trying to do everything. And we're finally done, and I turn around, and I'm like, y'all stuck me out front. You stick the person who doesn't even go to your church in the front. Well played. Well played, ladies. Well played. So anyways, it was pretty funny. But those are the 6 things I learned. It is VBS season, so VBS is going. This is probably, it's kind of early for us to do VBS. We usually do VBS in July. So we did it pretty early. Tell me your thoughts. What are things that you learn, that you experience from doing VBS that just kind of brings you back to like, yes. Besides the fact that it is pretty awesome being in worship all 5 days. Can I just tell you, talk about renewing my prayer life. Yeah, I needed that. So anyways, I will talk to you later. I have a lot of videos to catch up on for being gone for a week. Peace out.